Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we will be looking at the 4 most overrated teams in the NBA heading into this season. So every year there's always quite a few overrated teams that just don't succeed to what they're expected to succeed to. Last year you might even say the Warriors were a little bit overrated because they didn't beat their record and they added Kevin Durant. So I don't know, you could say that, but these are the teams that I just project that will not do good. That still might make the playoffs, but just will not do good this upcoming season. Unlike the Warriors, who, maybe they won't exceed to expectations, like win 75 games, but they'll still be the 1 seed in the West, which is very impressive considering the West. So, before we get into this video, make sure you like the video, that big thumbs up button. Make sure you comment down below, comment your opinion on these NBA teams, and is there anyone I missed, or am I just wrong on some? Because I know that it's going to be a little bit controversial for one, maybe even two, but, and don't forget, if you like my video, make sure to subscribe. Get me away from 35 subscribers. Don't let me be stuck at 35 subscribers for the rest of my career. Let's get into this video. Let's start off at number 1. At number 1, we have the Utah Jazz. So let's look at their lineup first and a couple key players they have off the bench. So at point guard, they have Ricky Rubio, shooting guard Joe Ingles, small forward Rodney Hood, power forward Derek Favors, and center, of course, the defensive lockdown, Rudy Gobert. So let's see off the bench. They have guard Dante Exum, who, he's been struggling with some injuries. We don't know about his status for this upcoming season. Alec Burks, who is another guard, mostly shooting guard, but can play point guard. And Donovan Mitchell, the star rookie, who I think is the X factor for this team, along with this guy, Joe Johnson, who, again, is another X factor. We don't know how good he's going to be, but, you never know. And another small forward we have, Tavo Cephalosha, who's, coming down to the end of his career. Not as big of a piece of this team. Stretch forward, we have Jonas Jerebko. And of course, we have Epko Adu. So, one problem I have with this team is there is no offense for this team. Gordon Hayward, who left this offseason, accounted for 19% of all the team's points this last season. And they were the 5th seed in the West. And the West has gotten so much better, while the Jazz, all they've added is Donovan Mitchell and lost. I mean, of course they added Ricky Rubio, but that was like a trade. So, it kind of evens out. I think Ricky Rubio is better for this team if they get some offensive scores. But, Gordon Hayward had 19% of all the team's points. He was their leading scorer last year, and the best player they had on their team easily. The best scorer they had on their team easily. I don't know about Gobert, but how are they supposed to contend if they lost their number 1 scorer? Of course, Gobert, amazing on defense. I mean, I think he should win Defensive Player of the Year. He might even win Most Improved because, we haven't really seen much out of Gobert because Hayward's had most of the offensive role. So maybe Gobert is hiding something, but Derek Favors isn't going to get it done. Rodney Hood is not going to get it done. Joe Ingles, he has been improving. And Donovan Mitchell off the bench and Joe Johnson off the bench are really the only guys that can score. Jonas Jerebko, I guess, but he can't create for himself. And Dante Exum's not going to be dishing like crazy. Who knows about his status? We don't even know if he's going to be injured or not. Alec Burks, he's a good 3-point shooter. A lot of 3-point shooters on this team I've noticed, but definitely can't create their own shot. But if they add another scorer with Ricky Rubio, I think this team has potential. If they would have kept Gordon Hayward, I think this team would have been really actually been up there. They might have even been better, but people are having them 5th seed still in the West, and the West has gotten better, and the Jazz hasn't. So I would have them barely making the playoffs. I don't even know if I would. It would be very close for them making the playoffs. So we'll have to see how they contend. And of course, Derek Favors cannot do anything. He is one of the most overrated players in the NBA. He really been overrated, and I don't know why he has. Jazz aren't a big rock market, but who knows. maybe Derek Favors will find his own without Gordon Hayward. You know, it's hard to determine how they will do without their lead scorer and who guided them throughout the year. So let's go on to number 2. So at number 2, we have the Washington Wizards. This one definitely debatable. So let's just go through their starting lineup first. John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter, who they just signed to a huge contract, which I think was a mistake. And then they have power forward, Jason Smith. Oh my, okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. And at center, they have a veteran center, Racine Gortat, who's actually pretty good. So off the bench, they have Tim Frazier, who's a guard, Jody Meeks, who's a shooting guard, Kelly Oubre Jr., who is, again, the X factor of this team, as Donovan Mitchell was for the Jazz. I'll go through every X factor for the team off the bench. And then Markieff Morris, who's better on defense than Marcus Morris but cannot score. Chris McLaughlin, who is a young power forward for this team. You know, he has a lot of potential, but who knows how much playing time he'll have. And of course, at center, Ian Mahami, who's, you know, just kind of an all-around player that cannot shoot, but can get rebounds and can play good defense. Actually, he's an above-average defender, a little bit above average, but that's for later. All right, so I think you guys know what I'm gonna say about this. Their problem is Jason Smith. All right, last year he had 5 points per game. He is not good at defense. He is not good at rebounding, and they really don't have a bench. Jason Smith is their starting power forward, and Markieff Morris is after, who really isn't that better. I think the only guy can be Chris McLaughlin. I think he might have a chance to be a really good player for the Wizards, but I think they need to make a change. They need to try and trade for, someone other than Jason Smith at power forward. That'd be the smart thing to do, and if they want to contend to a championship, they're going to have to make moves. And this offseason, they made 0 moves. They have made 0. So, they still have the same core. John Wall's years are getting old. I mean, he's getting old, but John Wall, by the way, he is not top 3 in the league. What has John Wall even done? Alright. He's not a top 3-point guard in the league. John Wall, he really has not done anything. But, that's for a different video. I'll probably make a video on that, why John Wall is the most overrated player in the NBA. But, really, if the Wizards want to compete, they gotta make some off-season moves. And, of course, the East has gotten worse, so this is a chance for them to swoop in and possibly beat LeBron in, like, a year or two. And, the Celtics, who knows how good they'll be. Depends how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown turns out, and if they make trades or not, but that's a big thing to see. If the Wizards make a trade for a power forward, Blake Griffin, they still, they could, but that's not as, they really can't, but, they don't have the assets, but they can trade for someone like Derek Favors, who really isn't fitting in with the Jazz system. Maybe he'll fit better with John Wall, who's a little bit more of a scoring guard that can still dish and, not really shoot, but can still almost do everything on the floor. Let's move on to number 3. So at number 3, we have the Boston Celtics, who are projected by many to win the East, which I think they can become the first seed, but they definitely can't go out of the East. There's no way they will be even close to the Cavs because of the fact that the Cavs got D Wade. I think D Wade's his impact definitely underrated for this team, but he is still a little bit overrated. But he's still Dwayne Wade. But let's get into this Celtics starting lineup. Kyrie Irving at point guard, Jaylen Brown at shooting guard, Gordon Hayward at small forward. As we talked about his impact earlier in the video, I don't know how Kyrie and Gordon will mesh, but that might be a problem. Marcus Morris and Al Horford. So, you see, I think the problem that this team has is their bench. Here we go. We have Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart. The X factor is Jason Tatum, who did amazing in the summer league, but who knows? That's only summer league. And of course their center Aaron Baines, my bad. But they don't have a bench. Really the only two guys they have off the bench is Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. You know, compared to the Cavs bench, who have J.R. Smith, who else they have? Channing Frye, Kyle Korver, all people who can light these guys up. Put Marcus Smart on the best player, that automatically locks out J.R. Smith. Jason Tatum, I mean, we don't know how good he is on defense, but we know he's a supreme scorer. So, that he could carry the bench, but as you guys know, he's only a rookie, so I don't know how that could happen, but you never know. But another problem that comes out of this is, where is the backup power forward or small, or just forward in general? Tatum cannot play power forward and small forward at the same time. I don't know how they will make that work. They gotta probably sign someone else. I mean, you can't. I mean, it's kind of too late, and they do have a lot of assets. So again, they could trade for someone like Blake Griffin, as I said. If they would have signed him, wow, we would have had a super team. But this Celtics team will definitely be interesting to see how Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving match together. But as I said, I do not have them coming out of the East. And I do have them as first seed just because LeBron likes to rest in the regular season, which I do think is stupid, but I guess it's smart. I mean, once the NBA starts changing that rule, he's got to start playing. So let's go on to my last prediction for the most overrated teams heading into this NBA season. So at number 4, we have the San Antonio Spurs. Oh, this one might get me some hate. So, you know, if you guys can support me, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up. So, let's get into it right now. So, first, we have Tony Parker at the point guard, shooting guard Danny Green, small forward Kawhi Leonard, power forward LaMarcus Aldridge, and center Pau Gasol. First, let me just say, age is gonna be a problem. Alright, so off the bench, we have some key players. We have Patty Mills, a guard, point guard, everyone's favorite. Another guard, Manu Ginobili, who's reaching the age. He is 40 right now. And a guard, DeJounte Murray, who might be the next big thing, according to San Antonio. You know, I like this kid a lot, but we'll see how he does throughout the year. He really showed his stuff when he was, playing this year, but I don't know. I don't think he can be the next Tony Parker or anyone on this team. But we have the X Factor. Here we go. Small forward or power forward, Rudy Gay, who was a very key pickup. I'm interested to see what Coach Popovich does with this 31-year-old player and see what he becomes. And will he become someone like LaMarcus Aldridge, who really isn't working with them, or will he become more of Kawhi Leonard? No, I'm just kidding. He's not going to become Kawhi Leonard, but he might become a key role player in this team, and possibly even a starter, depending on what they do with LaMarcus Aldridge. And their center is definitely LeBron James, who, of course, I think he was inquired from a free agent signing. And let me go in the first point why I think this team's overrated. Age. 40-year-old Manu Ginobili, 31-year-old Rudy Gay, 35-year-old Tony Parker, 32-year-old LaMarcus Aldridge, who he just hasn't worked at all with this team and has been an extreme disappointment. Imagine if LaMarcus Aldridge would play like he did in Portland. That would be amazing. And Pau Gasol is reaching 37 years old and is their starting center right now. So Another thing, to look at is Kawhi Leonard carries this team. Kawhi had 22% of the offense, plus 20% of defense efficiency last year. Add another year on all the players that have been on this team. The manager only was 39. Tony Parker was 34, who was still suffering from injuries, so maybe they'll do a little bit better than last year. Maybe. I don't know if you can even make a case for that, but maybe this team has potential. But another thing is they lost Jonathan Simmons and David Lee. David Lee's value is definitely a little bit overlooked. David Lee, he did amazing last year for the Spurs. I mean, he was a key defensive player, and he could show up on offense. And Jonathan Simmons, he locked down Steph Curry in the first game they played that year, and that's the best game I've seen from, the Spurs that whole year. Maybe one game in the Houston series, but that's about it. That was the best game I've seen, and that's when Jonathan Simmons was shining. So, another thing about those two is David Lee and Jonathan Simmons combined for 12% of all the points of, the Spurs. But another key thing I gotta add, it doesn't help my point, but I gotta add this just for fairness. They did add Rudy Gay, who is a very good offensive player. Not that good on defense, though. So, maybe he'll provide a spark off the bench, which would be, pretty cool to see, actually. Rudy Gay as a sixth man coming in and, providing a spark against these really deep benches that some of these teams have. It used to be the bench used to be much more deep, but now against the Cavs, they have more of a chance because of Rudy Gay. And Jonathan Simmons and David Lee didn't really help them against the Cavs, so I gotta add that in. So maybe if the Cavs make it and the Warriors have some injuries, I don't know. Well, I'd say the Thunder, Rockets, and Warriors all have injuries, the Spurs might make it. And I think if they make it out of the West, they are guaranteed a championship, because this team can, stack up against the Cavs. And depending how fast these series ends, that's a huge difference, because the older the player gets, he won't be able to sustain as much energy as, the rest of the players. But Kawhi and Rudy Gay add a huge spark to this team. But another thing I have to add is you can never doubt Coach Popovich. How many times has it happened where, when we ruled them out, we ruled out the Spurs, and they always come back. There's always a way, and I think the way it might happen this year is Rudy Gay. Coach Popovich just molds Rudy Gay into this star-like player, but with compared to all the rest of the NBA players, very little skill. And he's 31, but, who knows? He still has a lot of room for improvement, and 31 really isn't that old, so maybe he does have a lot left in the tank. Let's get on to the end. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video on the 4 most overrated teams in the NBA. I was going to make this top 5, but I didn't think I could, put the Heat in there. I was going to put the Heat in there, but I looked into their team, did some research on advanced stats for Goran Dragic, and I realized they're actually a pretty good team, and if they were in the West, I would have definitely added them, but they're in the East, so who knows how far they can make it. But that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up. Any opinion on this? Make sure you put a comment down below. I love reading the comments, and sometimes some crazy comments. Some crazy hate comments, but sometimes sometimes people go a little bit crazy in the comments, but make sure to keep it civil down there. Also, if you like my content, make sure to leave a big subscribe. Turn on that bell so you know when all my videos come out. Make sure I'm not stuck at 35 subs for the rest of my YouTube career. Thank you guys for watching, and see you. Hey.